Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of Rise of the Beasts. This is the web series where we follow the progress of the latest Transformers film, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. In this episode, I will be going over some of the more in-depth information about the characters in this film. Warning, if you don't want to know what the specific details for the characters are, and you want to keep it a surprise, then I would not recommend watching this video, as this video will include those pieces of information. If you're still here, let's get on with the new information we have. This information has come from TFW 2005. This person was invited to a special announcement event by Paramount Pictures. During this event, they were briefed on many of the things regarding Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Some of it we already know, so I will go straight into the information we don't know. So this film will have the story tied into human civilization. Now I think this is quite obvious as the film is set on Earth. I'm just hoping the film will focus on the Transformers more than the humans, as after all, this is a Transformers film. The Maximals and Predacons will be prominently featured in the movie, but we will also see the Terracons. The Predacons and Terracons are not allies, with the Terracons being the main villains. The Predacons are reptilian in nature and are the enemies of the Maximals. Meanwhile, Terracons are a threat to them all, but more in opposition to the Autobots. Optimus Prime is the leader, and his alt mode is an upgraded version of the G1 look from the Bumblebee movie. Imagine the Bumblebee movie Earth mode with a grey torso, grey windshield flaps, and grey upper shoulder parts that lead into the smokestacks. I'm not a car guy, so that doesn't really make a whole load of sense to me, and I can't really imagine it other than he will have more grey. This will show how Optimus becomes the leader he was in the Bay movies. Why does he have a connection to Earth, to humans? So that piece of information is interesting, because if you remember the previous episode of Rise of the Beasts, it was being reported that this was a full reboot. But this article says otherwise, with stating that this film shows how Prime becomes the leader he was in the Michael Bay movies. I think Paramount Pictures need to announce officially whether this is a full reboot or in the same universe as the Michael Bay films. It seems this film will be connected to Bay's Transformers, but not in a direct way. What I mean is that we won't have a scene that connects this film to the first Transformers film, or have the same appearance as they did in the Bay films. At least, that's what I think they might do. It then goes on to say that Bumblebee will be in a classic Camaro with off-road extensions, second generation 70s Camaro, raised Z28 badging, external framing, chunky wheels, light bar on top, a la Ratchet. Yet again, not a lot of those specific details made a lot of sense to me, other than it's a second generation 70s Camaro and that it has a light bar on the top, just like Ratchet. So he's going to look quite similar to how he did in the end of the Bumblebee film, and how he looks in the first Transformers film. But he will have a light bar on the roof, just like how Ratchet does. So the car is designed to go off-road more, with the chunky wheels and the light bar, which leads me to assume that at least Bumblebee will be driving off-road. Maybe to one of the other characters hiding in Peru. One character we haven't seen before in live action is Mirage, who is a silver and blue Porsche 911. His characterization is similar to Age of Extinction's Crosshairs, Anti-Authority. He can transform into multiple types of vehicles, i.e. multi-vehicles. Not sure if they were talking his history in Brand or actually in this movie. Now this is great, a new character and a new car, which yet again adds to the refreshing story this movie will tell. RC's robot mode is close to G1 and is a Ducati 916 motorcycle. Red with rose pink and white highlights. Classic head. Ducati bike. Racing number on leg. Hopefully, RC will have a much bigger role than she did in Revenge of the Fallen. Well, actually, it was the RC triplets in Revenge of the Fallen, and they were killed very quickly and very easily. I'm hoping to see a larger role, just like how she did in Transformers Prime. Nightbird is included as a Nissan GTR. She is also a Terracon. Purplish grey in colour, she is a modernised version of the G1 character of the same name. Face mask with robo-looking hood, switch sides allegiances are flexible. Another interesting and unique character. She's a Terracon, which are the main villains in the movie, but her allegiances are flexible, so it seems whichever side suits her best is the side she will be fighting for. So I'm assuming she will start off as a villain, but when things don't go the way she wants, she switches side to the Autobots. Scourge is the leader of the Terracons and is a trophy hunter. Like Lockdown from Age of Extinction, when he kills, he rips off the faction insignias and tattoos them into his body. 4 smokestacks on back, all smoking. Claw hand with electricity, black grey tone with orange pops. Not black convoy looking, but probably a truck due to the smokestacks in art. Wow, now that sounds like a badass villain. That's a real evil design of a Terracon. He sounds intimidating and a real threat to anyone he comes across. Airazor is a robotic bird. Rusty bird mode, steampunk-esque. Silhouette is very real-world bird, but plated and layered. Looks old, been here a bit. Blue glowing eyes. So, been here a bit means that Airazor has been on Earth probably before Bumblebee, but I guess went into hiding until more of her kind arrived. She is a part of the Maximals, and the blue eyes suggest that she will be a hero, not a villain. Rhinox, very rhino-shaped, plated, also steampunk and rusty, Ironhide-like, and wants to use his horn. Again, looks old, like old metal, been here a bit. So another Maximal who has been around for a while, probably a more experienced fighter, although being rusty and old could be a weakness and is why they need to team up with the Autobots to take down the Terracons. Fans have seen Optimus Primal before. Remember the last night's CGI concept art? Yep, but with much more fur. He's the leader of the Maximals and is very protective of those who are under his protection. You don't mess with Primal. Rusty underframe looks like random patches of skin and fur layered on top, like he's been through some stuff. He is leader of Maximals, equal in stature to Prime. That does sound pretty cool, and definitely unlike anything we have seen before in live action. I can't wait to see Prime and Primal interact. 2 great leaders, hopefully fighting alongside one another. Now on to the human characters. Thankfully, there are only 2 so far. The first is Dominique Fishback, playing Eleanor, a researcher of artifacts and works in a museum. Boss keeps stealing her thunder. And the second human character is Anthony Ramos, playing Noah, a father figure to brother, ex-military, trying to find his way, good with electronics, trying to get by. They are both from Brooklyn and are happy to mix the Transformers with their real-life neighbourhood. So I guess the Transformers that flew over Bumblebee's and Prime's heads are the Transformers in the neighbourhood with Noah and Eleanor. It also states a lot of characters we haven't seen yet. All the Maximals are hard to bring to screen. Rhinox wants to smash, but also brain of operation. Shows a connection to the original cartoon. How to actually try to disguise themselves. This sounds fantastic. Firstly, there are even more characters than what has been announced, which means they are going to be broadening the audience to more characters. Secondly, there shows a connection to G1, which is most fans' favourite representation of the characters. And finally, the Transformers actually tried to disguise themselves, which I felt had been missing in the Bay Transformers films. As we know, the main reason Transformers take on human cars is to disguise themselves, so it sounds like we are actually going to see more of that. They will be shooting in Peru for 6 weeks, and then I'm assuming they will move on to shooting in Canada, which will stand in for Brooklyn, New York. The final piece of information is that this is a spectacle story. Big action with deeper character story style from B-movie, combining the two. Key was, it's not a small budget film. This is a summer blockbuster level stuff. So just imagine the deeper character story of Bumblebee with the action level of a Michael Bay Transformers film. Personally, that sounds like a recipe for success. I just hope the director, Stephen Cable Jr., can manage such a large film. That is all the information so far for Transformers Rise of the Beasts. I can imagine that in the coming weeks we will have photos and videos from the set in Peru, as well as probably more character announcements by then, and I will make sure to keep you all updated with that information. So that is all for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I hope to see you here again soon. So until then, have a great day. Bye.